What if I told you there is an asteroid headed towards Earth called 16 Psyche? It will arrive by the year 2026, and NASA sent out a rover last year to check out this thing. But why? This asteroid has up to $10,000 quadrillion worth of precious metals on it. NASA is trying to mine space using the final frontier. If this is possible, and when it is, gold and silver would be as common as an everyday rock in your backyard, basically making precious metals worthless.
Connection established.
Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. So now let's talk about silver's supply. We had record-breaking supply deficits this year, hundreds of millions of ounces in the red, and it's only getting worse. Mexico and Peru, Chile, Australia, these are the biggest producers of silver. Production is down. Well, there are some alternatives, but I don't even think these alternatives will put a dent in the amount of silver we need, especially since solar panels alone could use nearly all of silver's supply by the year 2050. There's a bigger sector than just solar panels, electric vehicles. Every single automobile company by the year 2030 is going to be electric. We're already in the red. We already don't have enough silver. And when I say record-breaking supply deficits this year, that means ever. We have never seen a supply deficit this big before, and it's only going to keep growing, like I'll explain in a second showing this video. Before we jump into this video, I wanted to share some alternatives. I don't think any of these alternatives will even put a dent in the amount of silver we need. Like someone said in an article I covered once, they said, if you think we have enough silver to go green, you are living in La La Land. There's going to be a huge awakening, a huge realization from these big tech companies, from the industrial sector, if they are not paying attention and finding a source now. Elon Musk, he's a smart guy. You know why? He said, forget the source, forget finding a source, I'll become the source. And he bought a silver mine. That makes a lot of sense for Elon Musk, who is, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX and Solar City. But what are the alternatives? Mining innovation, learning how to find silver better out of the Earth's crust, right? But there's only so much silver in the Earth's crust. Silver is a byproduct. We're not looking for silver. We're looking for gold, lead, or zinc. If we find silver while looking for those other metals, we'll take it, but we're not looking for it. What else? Recycling? Recycling won't even put a dent in the hundreds of millions of ounces extra we need. Demand exceeded 1.21 billion ounces. We produce roughly 850 million ounces a year. Recycling isn't going to fix that problem. What else? Taking our silver confiscation? That's not going to do it. What if I told you there's a fourth solution that would be the end-all be-all? Would you believe me or think I'm just talking nonsense, that I don't know what I'm talking about, that I'm probably just going to make up some random thing acting like I know it all? Well, what if I told you I really do know another solution that is already in the works as of last year? There is an asteroid headed towards Earth that has $10,000 quadrillion worth of precious metals on it. This asteroid is called 16 Psyche. It will arrive near Earth in the year 2026. NASA sent out a rover last year to see if they can mine this asteroid. No, we will not be able to mine an asteroid by the year 2026, but the whole point is they are looking towards the final frontier to get these limited resources. India just landed a rover on the dark side of the moon, and that's another case of the world expanding and trying to find resources outside of Earth. This asteroid, though, is very unique. And it's even more unique that NASA is so interested in this thing. They have a team of like 100+ people that are solely just focused on this asteroid. When we look at space mining, this would truly be the end-all be-all. If we could mine an asteroid like this, silver and gold would be as common as a rock in your backyard. How long until you think we're going to be able to pull this off, though? That's the $1 million or 10,000 quadrillion dollar question. So anyways, that's a little introduction. If you like this video, then please like the video. Make sure you subscribe because we are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Let's check out this video
this year. But the thing is, well, demand for silver, the global demand for silver is still rising a lot faster than its supply, and silver is used in the manufacturing of solar panels. And according to a latest study, so listen to this, according to a latest study, the solar sector could actually use between 85 to 98% of global silver reserves by 2050. 85 to 98% of the global silver supply could actually be eaten up by solar panels. That's the study. So that's a huge number, that's a big number, and that's the solid solar sector, mind you, which is poised to only grow in the next decades with the climate changes. So the chances are that we will actually see that mint ratio trend lower in the medium to long run and trend lower sustainably at some point in the next few years. The hard thing here remains, however, to get the timing right, as a better global economic tissue is undoubtedly better for silver.
So I like how she compared it to gold, mentioning that we need a lot more silver and it's already scarce. And if we're talking about solar panels needing up to 98% of the total supply by the year 2050, then cut that down several decades since silver's needed for so many other things. And then she goes into the gold to silver ratio saying that, yeah, it's higher right now, but that ratio is only going to go downwards, meaning silver is going to start outperforming gold. When the gold to silver ratio is going up, that means gold is outperforming silver. When the ratio is going down, that means silver is outperforming gold. But let's take it a step further. She said a couple things that I want to highlight because I'm on the same page. She said this will be in full effect in a couple of years. She said a couple of years, and that is exactly what I say when I talk about triple-digit silver, when I talk about silver really breaking out and showing its true value. I say by the year 2025, 2026. I've been calling this because by then we will be deep enough into the silver shortage. Everyone, everywhere will understand silver's critical role in the industrial world, and you can't sweep it under the rug. By then, it will be blatantly obvious. Everyone will know it. Everyone is going to want silver because they understand there's not enough of it moving forwards. Right now, it's still pretty, unless you watch a channel like mine or, someone like David Morgan or someone, you're not really going to understand the extent of it. Yeah, you'll hear about it, but you're going to hear a lot of people say silver's not scarce. When I'm showing the numbers, when I'm showing the actual data, see, they go off of conspiracy. They go off of assumption. They don't show numbers. Numbers don't lie. When you show the data, below ground supply versus above ground supply versus physical demand, and incorporate even recycle, you cannot argue numbers, especially when they're just going off of their own opinion. You can't do that. You can't do that. So that's when I think silver will truly break out, when silver's true value will start to shine. So that's basically what this article's talking about, mentioning silver is a better bid than gold. This article is pretty interesting. It's talking about how silver to benefit from solar sector demand once rates peak. Silver is both an investment and is consumed in the manufacture of jewelry, electronics, yada yada. We know all that. When we look at something like 16 Psyche, this is very far out. Space mining is a dream. I do like to talk about it because last year was the first insight of NASA understanding this problem, and it's much bigger than NASA, the world looking outwards, like I said, the final frontier to solve this problem. So when we talk about this robust demand, it's only going to keep growing. If demand was 1.21 billion ounces this year, imagine what demand is going to be by the year 2030. 2 billion, when we're only digging up around 850 to 900 million ounces. That's the production. So robust demand from solar industry and limited supply growth from mines will buoy silver prices once the period of higher global interest rates is over, analysts said. Silver is both an investment and consumed in the manufacture of jewelry. However, at $23 an ounce, down 4% so far this year, has elevated global interest rates and discouraging investment in precious metals, and it's only worse nowadays. So once the peak of Fed tightening is confidently in place, silver should become more attractive again. Silver might see its biggest deficit in over a decade as mining production cannot keep up with demand. The solar industry has seen surging demand. And yeah, this article was written last month, or actually a couple weeks ago, but there actually was record-breaking supply deficit. I don't know if they haven't checked the Silver Institute's numbers, but yeah, this year, record-breaking supply deficits. The silver market was undersupplied by 237.7 million ounces in 2022, according to the Silver Institute, and deficits are set to continue in the years to come. However, huge above-ground stocks and quantities of metal held by individuals and investors fill the gap, and those are non-existent. The COMEX is extremely corrupt, and if you want a little hint of how corrupt, JP Morgan, the most corrupt investment bank in the world that owns the most silver, by the way, as well, 2 of their employees got sent to prison for rigging silver's price. They got caught red-handed. They are going to prison. That trial ended a couple months ago and went on from 2020 when I first covered it. $920 million fine. JP Morgan, some of the head people are head in the COMEX as well. Just think about that. There is not a 1-to-1 ratio, as it should be, from the people that own silver online versus physical. It's supposed to be a 1-to-1 ratio. If all those people turned in those contracts to physical delivery, they should be able to. But there's not that much silver. They think there is. But if they try to turn it in, if everyone tried to, which most people don't, that's the thing. They just, take the cash, they just let it go through. But if everyone did, it would expose that. Every ounce of silver you hold in your hand, they say up to 100, 250 other people own that same ounce on the COMEX. But that's why I say if you can't hold it, you don't own it, because you're the only one that truly owns that ounce. Just think of, when you're holding an ounce of silver, just think of how many other people own that same exact ounce, or think they do. It really puts in perspective why you need to buy physical. But anyways, the silver market was undersupplied by 237.7 million ounces in 2022. It was even bigger this year. Demand for silver in photovoltaics, or PV cells, which make up solar panels, has shown a threefold in growth since 2014 and is expected to reach 161 million ounces in 2023. The sector will be responsible for 14% of total demand for silver this year, compared with a 5% in 2014. Demand from this sector could reach 170 to 180 million ounces if new PV installation exceeds 400 gigawatts by 2025. And as we advance technologically, it's only looking like a lot of these electronics are going to require even more silver. They're trying to cut down the amount of silver. Like in EVs, it's like 58 grams or something per EV. They're trying to cut it down to like 20 something. But then you also have 500 ounces of silver in a single Tomahawk missile. So, I mean, and then windmills, they have a very short half-life and they're thrown away in landfills, never to be recycled. But anyways, meanwhile, growth in mine production is largely beholden to other metal projects for which silver is a byproduct, like I mentioned. So they mentioned solar industry will be at 225 million ounces in 2025. And that's just solar, not investing. Not the investment sector, not electric vehicles, not silver lithium ion batteries, not 5G towers, not laptops, not cell phones, not dental alloys, not colloidal silver, because silver is used in the medical world, antimicrobial properties, a lot. So I really want to go into this asteroid. This thing fascinates me because this is the solution eventually. It has to be. So there's this asteroid, $10,000 quadrillion worth of precious metals on it. 16 Psyche is one of the most massive objects in the main asteroid belt, orbiting between Mars and Jupiter. Asteroids' metals worth estimated $10,000 quadrillion, more than the entire economy of Earth. Using the Hubble telescope, researchers were able to analyze the asteroid in greater detail than ever before. This is not your typical space rock. This asteroid is one of the most massive objects in the main asteroid belt, orbiting between Mars and Jupiter. Could be made entirely of metal. Even more intriguing, the asteroid's metal is worth, like we said, a lot of money. We've seen meteorites that are mostly metal, but Psyche could be unique in that it might be an asteroid that's totally made of iron and nickel. Study lead author said, Earth has a metal core, mantle, and crust. It's possible that a Psyche protoplanet was forming. It was struck by another object in our solar system and lost its mantle and crust. So it's kind of like a dead planet to some degree, or a premature planet that. Anyways, using the Hubble telescope, Becker was able to analyze the asteroid in greater detail. And they don't even need a Hubble telescope because they sent out an asteroid last year. Yeah, like it says, the mission was set to launch 2022. They sent out they actually sent out the rover last year, and it will arrive at the asteroid in 2026, and that's when it will be near Earth. They're checking out this asteroid, and I do think that this is their first test to see if space mining is possible, or just kind of the rough draft phase. How could we mine these asteroids? It will be possible someday. I just don't think in 4 years. I don't think in 3-4 years space mining will be possible. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think that space mining is possible? It better be, because we're seeing supply diminishing, production diminishing, but demand exploding. And like any investor, when you start, the ABCs of investing: low supply, high demand, pushes the price up. Anyways, folks, I'm doing a giveaway. If you wanted a chance to win some silver shipped straight to your front doorstep, all you gotta do is click one button. That button is subscribe. If you wanted to purchase some of this shiny stuff, send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Every Monday, new deals. So in 2 days, more new deals. Ask what those deals are. Let them know that you want XYZ, or ask them about XYZ. They'll work with you. Also let them know Silver Slayer sent you. Helps me out. It will help you out, as Andy loves all of my fans. Andy and I, which I'm talking about Andy Scheckman, by the way, we have a weekly podcast called the Silver Stacking Podcast, and it's a great podcast. We talk about a lot. Andy is very knowledgeable, since he's not just your everyday person that just is from the outside, from the community. He is one of the most respected precious metals dealers in the world that's been in business for several decades and still works with the U.S. Mint. He has connections like nobody else, right? He filled a $50 million order in 2 days. Nobody else in this world could do that. And, that's just the type of guy he is, very well connected. There's a lot to learn from him. You'll see him anywhere and everywhere, from Kitco News to Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad podcast, all the way to everywhere. He's everywhere. Constantly speaking at seminars, traveling all over. And, it's pretty cool that I'm able to offer you guys a business relationship with him when you start buying through him, especially since, relationships do matter nowadays, especially as silver's going to start becoming harder and harder to find from these dealers, especially since most of them can't buy directly from the U.S. Mint, but Andy can. So that could be beneficial, especially if you like U.S. minted stuff, to keep that relationship. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Make sure you like this video. If you liked the video, make sure you subscribe. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.